Welcome back. It's 6:45 on a Tuesday. Today, much of Western New York is taking a big step toward rebounding from COVID-19. Right now, the counties making up the state's Western New York reopening region are in phase 3. So we're hoping to get some of your questions answered about what this means for businesses like restaurants, tattoo parlors, and massage therapists, and where we stand moving forward. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul is joining us live by Zoom this morning from her office in downtown Buffalo. Lieutenant Governor, good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Many people have been looking forward to getting back to a restaurant. So what should Western New Yorkers know about phase 3 today?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Western New York. There was no guarantee that we'd be entering phase 3, which, as you mentioned, is indoor dining at restaurants, a lot more personal services. But you look at the numbers we had in New York State and Western New York even a month ago or 6 weeks ago. This was not a guarantee. So Western New Yorkers made this happen with their willingness to listen to us about wearing masks, the social distancing, et cetera. So all that has to continue when you go into a restaurant or into a salon. So you can expect a different experience, but at least it's a major step toward getting back to some semblance of normal.
Well, yesterday you asked Western New Yorkers to spend some money that they've been saving over the last few months to keep our restaurants open and our community vibrant and alive. But how long is that actually going to be sustainable for restaurants? And when can we expect to see capacities increase? We just heard from one restaurant owner who said that they're concerned about having a vulnerable population inside and really are kind of getting a mixed message about what actually can happen.
Well, we're going to be very careful. The reason that we don't see the spike in cases as we've been going through phase 1, 2, and now 3 of reopening is that we've been smart about this. Other states just opened up full capacity. They didn't require masks. And you can see the numbers. Those cases, those states are seeing an increase in the number of positive cases for corona, and their hospitals are becoming overflowed. And also people are now saying in some communities, we have to go backwards. That's the last thing we want to have happen here. So we've put out very clear guidance from the state of New York. Every business that wants to reopen has to follow that guidance, certify that they'll follow it to make sure they can guarantee for their employees and their customers that it's a safe environment. So based on the science and the data and the experts, if we follow these protocols, the environment will be safe. We want people to come out, but if you continue doing what we've been asking you to do, it will be a better experience. So don't get casual. Don't think you can leave your mask at home or else you won't be served in these restaurants. Again, this is temporary.
Sure.
This is a global pandemic. We will get through this, but we're going to get through it in a smart, safe way for our residents.
And so just to be clear, is there a timeline in place yet to increase those capacities?
Well, certainly phase 4 could be about 2 weeks from now, but again, we're going to watch the numbers.
Sure.
That's what I do every single day. So phase 4 could result in an increase in capacity, but we're going to make sure we do it in a smart way. But obviously there will be an increase in capacity as we went from 10 people being able to gather, we went to 25 recently. We now allow gatherings in churches at 25%, restaurants 50%. So yes, clearly those numbers are going to go upwards, but not all at once, because we have to make sure that this does not result in an increase in infections and set us backwards to where we were a month and a half ago or 3 months ago.
So let's talk about that for a second. Is there a concern some restaurants, salons, or tattoo, massage parlors won't reopen? And all told, what would the economic impact here be?
Well, we wanted them reopen. Yes, some have really been hit hard, but that's why I'm encouraging people, those who've been particularly cooking at home, like I have for a long time now, get out there, support the businesses. And what I've heard from a lot of the restaurants from Jamestown up to Lockport, where I've been in the last few days, there's a lot of pent up demand. People that may have gone out to dinner once a week, they're going to want to go out 2-3 times a week, at least in this initial phase. So some of the restaurant owners are actually optimistic, especially if the weather's good and they can have outdoor dining and more expanded spaces than they had before. This could be a very good summer for them. But again, we have to be there to help them.
And Lieutenant Governor, I just want to switch gears here this morning. We've seen riots. We've seen a protester get pushed, a couple of police officers, 3 in fact, hurt after what amounted to a riot on Bailey Avenue a couple of weeks ago. The governor is signing reforms into action. But are you satisfied with the response you've seen from Buffalo police? And do you think there should be changes at the very high ranks of leadership?
Well, the governor has incentivized all communities to rethink policing for 2020 and going forward. So this is a unique opportunity in our nation's history for all of us to right some of the historic wrongs of the past, the systemic racism that's there, but also to make sure that our police departments are performing the responsibilities we want them to do as a community. So in order for each community to be funded by the state next year's budget, we're asking them to do exactly what you're talking about, have high-level conversations with the police department at the table, elected officials, and community leaders to come up with a path that is going to take us to a far more just way, but also making sure that we continue to protect the people in our communities.
So there we go. Do you think that the response from the mayor and police commissioner Byron Lockwood has been enough and sufficient?
They are taking steps toward what we need to do. I don't think they're finished, but they actually put together some very thoughtful reforms initially. We commend them for that. And the governor has recognized those efforts. But yes, this is a long journey. This is a long journey to rethink how our police department functions, how much equipment they really need, what their training looks like, the recruitment. There's a lot of questions that can go into this, but ultimately we'll have a very responsive police department that's in tune with the needs of the community so we can rebuild the trust that has been broken so many times. You need the trust of the police to the community and the community to the police in order for us to function as a safe society.
Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, thanks so much for your time this morning. We certainly appreciate it, and we're looking forward to phase 4 when we can increase those capacities in restaurants. But today we are satisfied to welcome phase 3 into our community with so many restaurants allowing us back inside for the first time in months. Katie.